Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs are off to their fourth Super Bowl in 5 years. In a time that there are so many good quarterbacks in this conference, Lamar has won 2 MVPs, Josh Allen is up there, Joe Burrow, when healthy at least, he is there to challenge Patrick Mahomes. But still, no matter how many times we think we doubt the Chiefs, they prove that they are still the class of the AFC and probably the entire league. Mahomes and this Chiefs team, this nucleus, has been to 6 consecutive conference championships, 5 of them being at Arrowhead. And this year they shed the narratives. Can they win on the road? Because clearly they can. Last 2 games, 1 on the road against 2 bitter AFC rivals, the Bills, who they've dominated but always give them a tough time, and these Baltimore Ravens, who have been upstart. And I think the biggest difference is what propelled the Chiefs to the Super Bowl is just that they've been there, they've done that, their experience. Baltimore showed that they lack maturity, and we're going to talk about some key moments in this game that led to their demise. Coach Spags, we know that he had a stint briefly as a head coach, but the guy can call a defense. And after being hired by Andy Reid to be the DC for the Kansas City Chiefs in 2019, this has been a match made in heaven. Those years, he's been able to be the difference and lead the Chiefs into the promised land thanks to just revamping the defense. They've been middle of the pack, and now they're one of the best defenses in the league. They have a really good D-line led by Chris Jones. Linebacking core is not the best, but still adequate for this NFL. And their secondary, I mean, so many great pieces. L'Jarius Sneed, Trent McDuffie, and countless other parts of this secondary that we think, well, we can look past them, but not really, because when you want to try and attack this team, the best way to do so is on the ground. But other times, if you want to challenge them to the air, they're like, good luck. We have the pieces, we have the pass rush, and we have a great DC that can contend with your receivers. This just was very strange from Baltimore's plan of attack. The game didn't go in their favor to start. They went 3 and out, and the Chiefs went down the field and scored. That doesn't mean the game is over and you have to get past happy soon. It's strange that Gus Edwards, their lead back for much of this year, only got 3 carries in this game. And the team as a whole, they ran it only 16 times. Most of them was by Lamar. I don't understand what Todd Monken's mindset was coming into it. It just felt that Lamar was skittish in the pocket, and they were just like, look, we're going against an arms race with Patrick Mahomes. We're going to try and meet him and outduel him through the air. That is extremely rare to do. I mean, I think I've seen a couple times that Josh Allen and Joe Burrow have been able to do it, but most of the time, Lamar, the best thing to do is use the run and set up the pass. That's nothing wrong there. I don't know what the whole mindset is just to prove that Lamar's arm can get you into the promise, and just do what you're good at and allow that to be part of your winning formula, because it's gotten you this far. Why not go back to it? And it just felt that no matter what, Coach Spags was just sitting back saying, well, we got the superior secondary. We're going to play quarters defense, and we're going to see if Lamar can beat the blitz, because every time there was just a free rusher coming in, and it just felt that Lamar was running for his life, had to make some acrobatic plays, and sometimes he did. We saw that catch to himself off the tip pass. But most of the time, he didn't seem settled. Additionally, when Lamar passes for anything more than 30 times, you're kind of going to live with those results. Most of the time, if he's passing for that many times, he's behind, and you want that to happen. And he passed it for 37 times, excuse me. You felt that this game was going away from what Baltimore is set up for success. They had a nice drive, countered to tie the game, and from the rest of that first half, quiet, punt, turnover, strip sack. And in the second half, their defense finally showed up. They had second half adjustments and pitched a shutout. Something really rare to do, but we know that this Mahomes-led offense isn't the same as what we're used to seeing from the Chiefs, but they still had to put up 17 points in that first half. The defense is doing its part now after getting somewhat shredded in that first quarter and a half, but the offense didn't show up. And there's so many little miscues that we see. Zay Flowers had his welcome to the NFL moment. He had a great rookie year, and was probably the most productive Raven, at least on offense, on the day. But the problem was, after catching this long pass, zigging and zagging, he got tackled inside the 5 and felt the need to not just push down the defender, but taunt him and stand over him. Now, if they were one of these two things, refs have allowed the ball spinning, the standing up top over for a brief moment. But the fact that it's just a combination and it's all three of these acts, you're gonna get flagged for that. You gotta be smarter than that. And after that, the worst thing that you can imagine happened. You think you're in a goal-to-goal situation. Zay is doing his thing, zigging and zagging again after catching the ball off a slant. He's heading toward the end zone. L'Jarius Sneed comes up with the play of the game, smacks the ball out of his hands, recovered in the end zone for a touchback Chiefs ball. When you get down there so close and you've been out of this game for much of it, but just cutting it to 3 just feels like you have some life. It just takes that one play to give you life. But that didn't happen for the Ravens on Sunday. That seemed to suck out the sails. Chiefs possessed the ball for a little bit, bled out some clock. Next possession, Lamar is leading them down the field, and you know that you don't need to get the 7 immediately. You can live with a field goal because you have one of the best kickers, if not the best of all time, in Justin Tucker. You make a field goal, it's still 17-10. For whatever reason, Isaiah likely throws his hands up as he's going towards the end zone, but he doesn't notice that there's a safety getting ready to undercut that route. And Lamar, for whatever reason, is okay with that. He threw it into triple coverage in the end zone. I understand having faith in your guy, but this just makes no sense. Throws the interception. The game is basically over. We talked about some issues and miscues from the offensive side, but the defense also was disappointing, especially in that first half. There were personal fouls, 2 that were roughing the passer and Patrick Mahomes, some just inexcusable things that just cannot be allowed. I understand that the referees are playing softer than what we've seen them historically, but some of these were just way out of proportion. The Roquan Smith, you're trying to go for the offsides penalty or encroachment. You don't need to barrel into right guard. That's just not smart. Roquan Smith is smarter than that. Kyle Van Noy gets into it with Travis Kelce, and you all know that they're gonna get the second guy. The first guy can get away with a punch, but if the second guy reacts just as tougher, just as more menacingly, well, you're gonna get called for that personal foul, free 15 yards, and those led to 3 points before halftime. So despite John Harbaugh being one of the best coaches in this game, maturity and composure are things that I just didn't see out of this Ravens team, and they showed that they are younger and they're good, but they're not there yet to what the Chiefs and Mahomes are at this moment.